Hi, everyone. We want to give you a quick update on some of the settings that we've discovered over the last few days and with the last update that we received from Zoom. And we really hope that this will help with some of the Zoom bombing issues that you've been having. I'm currently in Zoom right now, and just know that I have a pro account. So some of the features, if you're still running basic, some of these features that I'm going to show you might not be there. And so if you want a pro account, make sure you talk to your department chair and we can easily get you on the list and get you switched over. Which brings up another good point. Anytime that you see an update from Zoom, please do the update. These are security updates that they're doing, and they are constantly getting their engineers to redo some of the features that they have, and they're pushing out these features to us. So some of the things that I show you today, if you're on basic, might not be available to you. They might only be in the pro version. So don't be alarmed if you don't have some of the things. But if you do have the pro version and these features are available, please go back into your settings. Know that when you do make these changes, all the links that you've set up for your classes will not have these settings. So that does bring up another approach to your practices that you have right now. Please only set up links for the following day's classes. Please don't schedule links far out into the future because, like I said, Zoom is constantly updating and you will have to go in and redo those links in order to have these features show up. So the first one that I want to show you is down here in settings, and it's within the meeting, and then it's actually in meeting basic. And so if you click on in meeting basic, about 2/3 of the way down, right after polling and right after screen sharing, you should see a couple of, or the very last one actually, it says allow participants to rename themselves. Go ahead and make sure that this is off. And it brings up a good point that when you are in your class, if you see somebody join and their name is home, that means that they've signed in with maybe a personal Gmail account. So you might want to make them sign out. They have to go back in through their school email address. We're not seeing that too often, so kids really have been listening and they have been signing in with their school name account. But this is a great way, or their school email address and password. It's a great way to determine who is a Zoom bomber and who hasn't. So make sure that this one is off. And the minute you go ahead and toggle that off, you're going to get a message that pops up and says your new settings have been saved. So that's number one. That's the very first thing that I'd like you to do. Here's the second thing, and I know that we've got various ways that we can create meetings. I'm going to now ask you to come and use the web browser here and schedule a meeting this way. So when I come in here to schedule a meeting, it's going to bring up the scheduler. And I'm going to go ahead and just use this particular platform, and I'm going to call it class. I can add a description if I want. I'm going to schedule this meeting for tomorrow, April 9th, and I'm going to schedule it for 9 a.m. I'm just going to schedule it for 9 a.m. just for demonstration purposes. It's 1 hour, but down here it says registration. I'm going to go ahead and click required. If registration doesn't show up for you, you're probably running the basic. But what this does is it makes sure that the username and the user that's coming into your class is signing in with their username and password from SAS. So again, that should help you and be another layer of security for your classes. The rest of this can be the same. You probably already have mute participants on entry, and you probably have already enabled the waiting room. You can come in here and do the rest of these things if you want. I would also suggest only authenticated users can join, which means signing in with Zoom. Again, if this is not available to you, you may be only in the basic account, and it's just going to provide an extra layer. If you have a co-host, if this shows up and you want to assign a co-host because you're co-teaching, by all means, go ahead and put in their email address at this time. I'm going to go ahead and click save. I've gone ahead and I have scheduled this meeting. It has generated the URL. I, at this time, can copy this invitation and I can put this into my Schoology account for this class. I can also notice that it also created this password, so be aware of this password as well. I can also click Google Calendar. Now, this is not going to send an invite to my students. It's going to be a reminder strictly for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click Google Calendar, and it will put this in my Google Calendar for myself. Um, we're finding some problems with the Zoom feature in Google Calendar. If you're creating your links to your meetings that way, we're finding some problems with this. It's not giving that extra registration layer for security. So that's why I'm going to encourage you to go through the web link from, or the web browser link from now on, just to add that extra layer. If you need assistance in setting this up for the very first time, please reach out to any one of us, Paul, Fran, or myself. We would be more than happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and walk you through setting up your meetings for the very first time. And again, if we see some things coming out from Zoom with some updates, we will be sure to let you know what those new security features are. Thank you for listening and good luck.